Thank you. I'm Barrett J. I'm Contracts Procurement Director for Charleston County Government. I've been in the position for about 14 years. I've been in the world of government procurement for 40 years. Yeah, it's about time for me to go and do something else. This has been my life since 1983. So it's time to move on. It's time to look at something. But before we do that, it's always good to know who I'm speaking with and who I'm speaking to in the room. I don't like to speak to people like, who's that? And they're like, who's that? So I'm going to start with Costas over here since he's a homeboy from James Island. So we're just going to go around the room, and those who are online will get to you next, and then we'll get into how we do business in Charleston County government. And I'm going to show you how I've been doing this God knows how long. And I know it's going to be a little interesting with people online, but would like to field questions, like to get in the conversation, because we want to talk about what works. You already understand procurement, but sometimes procurement can be the most difficult thing in the world, because what I always tell people when you're in the world of procurement and you start dealing with small minority businesses, you got two groups of people, one on the left, one on the right. And no matter what you say, somebody's throwing rocks at you. So we're going to try to get past some of those things here today. So Costas, and we'll start with you, sir.
So my name is Costas Ioannidis. I'm the Orangeburg area manager and business consultant with the South Carolina Small Business Development Centers. We have about 21 offices throughout the state, and provide assistance to entrepreneurs starting up and doing successful business. I have experience in a lot of different areas, and something I don't know. I'm sure there's another consultant here that can make sure we've got the knowledge base to give you the assistance that you need.
My name is Delma Myers Jr. I'm the owner of P&B Promotionals. We are branded products and apparel company specializing in print promotional products. Been in business for about 28 years, and our specialty is dealing with governmental agencies and educational institutions.
Good morning, everyone. I am Pam Green. I am the director with Michigan County Office of Small Business Opportunity. I've been in government now probably for about 8 years. Prior to that, I was private sector in banking.
Hi, I'm Evans Khan, Lucid Logistics, a fuel wholesaler. We currently operate in about roughly about 23 states right now, supplying fuel to rental car agencies, and I've been doing that for about 3 years now.
Blake Knobloch with JW Construction. We're a commercial general contractor. Our office is in Charleston, South Carolina, but we've got 26 regional offices across the country, looking to work with folks big and small, and really bring partners on our team.
My name is Tessa. I'm the owner of Suburban Charlotte, the residential and commercial cleaning company. We located in Charlotte, North Carolina, but we work in North Carolina and South Carolina. So we are looking for opportunities in government contracts and working with the owner.
Hey, I'm April Starry. This is my husband, Gabriel. We're the owners of Fancy Housekeeping Services. We're really just getting started, only been in operations for a couple of years. We do government contracting right now and subcontracting with janitorial services in government buildings.
Good morning. I'm Al Jenkins. I'm Regional Director for U.S. Senator Tim Scott office. I serve him in 11 counties, and I'm a retired 8A contractor. And the speaker today, Mr. Tolbert, we probably met 40 years ago.
Yes.
And I will be serving as his usher today. So if he needs water or anything, I will be responding. So nobody takes that from me today. That's my job.
Thank you for the plug.
Hi everyone, my name is Tony Gladstone. I'm the founder and executive director of Joy Farmers. It's a nonprofit that's just starting, and I'm learning as I go. So the majority of my life is a special education teacher in public education, and saw a need to cultivate joy in teenagers. Here I am.
Hi, Michelle Hayward. I want to say thank you for having this in Orangeburg, because I've been driving to Charleston for Columbia. I'm from Denmark, so it was a great 25 minute drive, minus the construction that's on Highway 70. Don't worry about the interstate. That's a 20-minute wait. I'm the founder of Positive Hire. We're early stage tech startup focused on helping AEC companies or architecture, engineering, construction companies to retain their talent. We do that through services as well as our proprietary software platform, PH Balance. Prior to that, I was a civil engineer. I traveled the US managing the construction of power grids, so 345 kilovolt transmission line substations as well as telecom. So still back in the industry, just in a different role.
Yes, good morning. My name is Tommy Robinson. I'm with Robinson Family Trucking out of Utahville. I'm a retired customs officer after about 35 years, and we run about 16 trucks. I've been in business since 2016, and we have a team of, and we haul all types of aggregates, and we have a team of trucking probably about 85, and a team with LMS Trucking and Willie Frazier out of Charleston in the Low Country.
Whom do we have online?
We have, and I apologize for getting these names wrong. We have Medea Stanton with Ware Active LLC. And then we have about 8 folks online that have not introduced themselves yet. Sorry.
No problem. Do they want to introduce themselves?
Well, they can't talk because of how we have the webinar set up. But we have, sorry, y'all. We have Treasure Carson, Teresa Sutton, Tavarius Johnson, Marin Gizwa. Again, y'all, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. Melinda Stewart Camps, Bernie Jahola, and Ashley Gauss.
Okay.
Bernie says he is with Yay Maps.
Okay. If we can get a list of their names, that'd be perfect. Once again, good morning. Barrett Tolbert, Charleston County Government Contract Procurement Director. Within our office, we also have the Office of Business Opportunities, which it works with small businesses and minority businesses. As stated, I've been in the world of procurement off and on since October 1983. I started in the U.S. Army, got out, did some other things, got into banking, got back into this world, got into the world of business development, worked at the Business Development Center. That's where I met Al, long time ago, and still know Al.
Yes.
So we've been through, as we said in the Army, we've been through the trenches together.
Yes.
Which is a good thing, and that's what I like that, because procurement is about relationships. And that's the one thing I encourage to all small business owners. I encourage to everybody who work in the world of procurement, it's about relationships. One of the things that happens with small businesses, and everybody in the room who's represented here is a small business. It doesn't make a difference what your ethnic background is. You're a small business. A lot of times small businesses are ignored, they're mistreated. And the one thing that I did not like when I got to Charleston County back in 2005, as I said, 80% of your dollars are spent outside of Charleston County. I said, there's a problem, because I said, your tax base is right here. And the same thing sometimes goes with the state of South Carolina. So what I'm going to do is 2 parts. I'm going to go through, so bear with me, because I know government people probably understand this, but the small business folks or business owners don't understand it. I'm going to go through Charleston County's procurement process. But during that, I'm going to also be talking to government folks here as to how we go about doing it. And just to give you just a quick background, when I got to Charleston County in 2005, they spent less than 0.5% of their money with minority and women-owned businesses. That was abysmal. And we all said that can't happen. Then when it comes to small business, period, it wasn't even 5%. And we took a look, and everybody who was getting work was the same folks over and over and over and over again. And I said, somehow or another, that has to stop. So we have to change the mindset of people. I hope I get this right. All these people aren't here, so I'm all those people in one today, okay? So don't worry about it. All those people in one.
No pressure.
So, like I said, just relax, turn off your cell phone. I was teaching class Sunday in church, a Bible study class, and woman's phone went off, and she looked at me. She was a visitor, and I'm looking at her. She goes, "You going to finish the class?" I said, "No." I said, "I want your phone to stop ringing first." I said, "I don't want you to interrupt God's words." So the same thing here. Let's not interrupt these words here. Let's kind of go through it. training objectives. We're gonna talk about our ordinance, model procurement practices, procurement method and source selection, sole source, non-competitive procurement, emergency procurement. We're gonna talk about all those things, but we're gonna talk about how they are applicable to you and how we can get you in the group, as I always say. You know what procurement is? It's the government when we buy different things. We're buying all kinds of services in the world for all kinds of reasons, but you already know that. However, there's a way that it can be done, and it can be done to benefit you in many, many different ways. Any government, I don't care if it's a municipal government at the smallest level, state, federal, they want to procure high quality services and products for their agency at the best price, not the cheapest prices. We say as low as possible. That's not true. I do not go with low bid. If the low bid is garbage, I don't take it. Sure, I don't. People come and try to low bid all the time. I say, what is this? What are you doing? What are you talking to me about? Ain't going with low bid. If you have a business, I'm talking to business, you have a business, you got a price, you stick with your price. Don't let anybody at any one point in time bring your price down. Now you can negotiate, write this word down, negotiate, but don't let anybody lowball you. Because a lot of times folks like, okay, you come in here at this, what do you think about it? You're a small business owner. If you don't, if you don't do any business this week, will somebody have a check wait for you on Friday? No, it's not gonna happen. Because that's not gonna happen, and you're gonna have to take care of your business, and people are gonna respect you when you stand your ground and say, this is my price, this is the reason why my price is. Number one, you're looking for a profit. Number two, you gotta pay for all your materials, you got people working for you, you gotta do marketing, you gotta do all these things, so therefore, never let anybody lowball you on the price. And of course, this is just one of those things, we at the right business in the right time at the right service. Government spends money every second of the day, federal, state, county, local, whomever. We're spending money every second of the day. How can you be a part of that glorious process? We operate by ordinances. This is what I tell people. I operate by ordinance. I want you to think about it like driving on the interstate. Betty, anybody ever drove on a German autobahn? It's fun. Ain't no speed limit when you get out of town. You can hit that gas. Okay, same thing here. Every government has something that makes them do what they're supposed to do. So this is the wall, and sometimes I'll expand that wall, but I'm not gonna go on the outside of that wall to help anybody out to get business. Always remember that. And remember, pick who you're going to do business with when it comes to government agencies. As a small business, you got 46 counties in the state of South Carolina, you got the state government, and you have hundreds and hundreds of municipalities. It is impossible for you to get to each and every one. So you say, okay, I live in Richland County, so I'm gonna draw a circle. I got Richland, I got Lexington over here, I got Sumter, I got Orangeburg down here, I got this county over here, I think it's Fairfax, Fairfield. Yeah. You start working in the area first. And then you start and you kind of go out, but you don't want to say, I'm gonna hit all, it's impossible. You will lose control and you will lose focus. Then if you start with Richland County, you got Richland County, you got the city of Columbia there. You say, okay, you got two different government agencies working in there. I'm gonna work with those two first. What you want to do is learn their ordinance. You want to learn their purchasing ordinance for one reason, because you want to know how they go about doing business. Richland County, Greenville County, Charleston County, Berkeley County, they all have an ordinance, and the ordinance gives them rules and regulations of how they do business. And that's where people get confused. Because I can't go to Greenville County and expect what they're gonna do in Charleston County, that's what they're doing in Richland County, what they do in Orangeburg County, what they do in Saluda County, Mecklenburg County, whatever. They all have rules that they follow. And then if you learn their rules, then you will be able to get in there and get some business and do business. Now, one of the best things I always tell small business people, before you walk out this room, I heard a couple of government folks in there. Put Al to the side for just a minute. Al has come to it, because we'll talk about Al later. You got myself, you got Ms. Green over here. Okay? We both work in two to the three largest counties in the state. Charleston, Richland, Greenville, the three largest counties in the state. We spend a ton of money. Don't walk away from it and not shake our hand. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's a reason why you don't do that. It's because people tend to do business with who they know. I'm going to remember your face and what you do, because I already remember it. Cleaning. You do consulting back there. I got a trucking back there. You
Just say consulting.
consult. Okay. Promotional products. I got a picture planted in my mind of who you are and what you do. Okay? Now, it's up to you to keep that picture in my mind. If you don't call me, that picture goes away real quick. Number one, because I'm old. And number two, I got 50 million things running through my head every day. I got kids in college, kids in high school, got a wife that throws stuff at you. I got all them things going on. I gotta go to work, gotta deal with all kinds of stuff. Okay? But if you're in my face, I know who you are. Send me an email, I remember that person right there. So you want to get to know people in these agencies. But like I said, keep it confined first. Don't go out thinking you can get everything. All right? And we are looking for the best practice. So here are some of our procedures on how we do things. We have a lot of procurement practice. Don't need to go through that. Everything we do is transparent. It is transparent. Everybody knows what they do. You can send me a letter saying, who got that job? What did they do? How did they get it? Because I want to show you some tricks of the traders. That's why Al and I know each other, because Al used to be in my face every day back in the 1990s.
Absolutely true.
Him and his family. Him and his family. I got to know his family very well because he stayed in our face. We had anything going on. I was like, I said, does this guy actually ever work? He was always at every program we had back.
True, true.
I used to always ask that question, me and Mr. Griffithson. But Al was good because Al's business was growing. And Al was like, oh, I got my son and my wife out there. I was like, man, you good guy. Got the whole family working. We all go through a process. We have in Charleston County 27 different departments. Some elected officials, some aren't, but their procurement flow through our procurement department. So therefore, if they need something, they're going to call us. Even if they can do things on their own, they still have to call us to get our approval, to get the approval of the procurement director. Got it? Got it. So everybody wants a contract, opportunity. Let's talk about how we get there. Welcome. And this is it'll show me some cash. My grandmother used to always tell me, she said, money talk and all else walk. She used another word, but I can't use that. She was quite a person. How we do things. Any good or service required is they have to enter a record system. We don't need to go through all this. We don't need to go through all this. We have various ways we get people to do things for us. From all up here. So how they work. We do requests for quotes. We get 3 to 6 quotes on certain projects. And I'll show you how that works in a second. Then we have the old standard invitation for bids. These are starting to go away. We don't do the sealed bids anymore like people used to always want to do. Sealed bid, open up on Friday, 3 o'clock, read it off. Person with the best, lowest competitive price wins. Get away from them. A lot of people doing this called request for proposals. We're doing requests for proposals, all of our particular projects. We're also doing requests for qualifications. When you said send in the qualifications and take a look at it, okay, you qualified to this job. Well, we got a cleaning project. So I got 2 cleaning firms now. I said, we're going to put 5 cleaning firms on what we call a list. So every time a project comes up, you get the first, you get the second, this person, the third, fourth. When we get to the 5th person, we start over again at number 1. This job is yours. You just give us the price, we agree to the price, and you start working. Don't that sound delicious? Sounds good. I'll put money in your pocket. Okay. Then we do RFIs, which is request for information. We'll tell you to send some information in. A lot of times with RFIs, they turn into contracts. Because if we see that you've given me something that is so great, so wonderful, so powerful, I don't need to go through those other processes. It says, look, sit down, let's make a price. Let's make a deal right now. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Keep going. We're going good. Then we have sole source, non-competitive procurement. I'm gonna talk about that later. Y'all don't have a problem with that, right? Because that's fun. I'm gonna show y'all a trick with that going back to code. And I wish I had known. I said, seriously, I will show you why I wish I had known y'all doing code. And then we have emergency procurement. I should have known all of you doing emergency procurement, especially the person back there with the truck.
Yes.
Okay. Now, every government agency has different ways to look at things. Number 1, all small people here, write down this word, small purchases. Look at your wallet, because this is how you can pull your wallets out without fighting with the government to get a contract. Small purchases. And we have what's called P cards. Lump them together. Every government established what they call a small purchase. That means they spend out so much money at a point where all that stuff, when you see the solicitations and going through the codes and all that, goes right out the window. And I'll give you an example. Now, we'll talk about P cards a little bit later and how that's applicable. I'll go to the next That's what I'm showing you. When we say a small purchase in Charleston County government, and every government you want to go and look and see what they consider a small purchase. For me, I have two sources of small purchase. Up to $10,000, I don't need any competition. Get that? Up to $10,000, I don't need any competition. Who here understands what I'm talking about? Yes, ma'am.
No, you said who understands, I raised my hand, didn't agree.
You
I
understand?
said, yeah.
Or who don't understand? I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm sitting here today. I got 5 projects, they all cost less than $10,000. I'll pick the phone up and say, can you do the work? No, that's it. Can you do the work? No, that's it. No competition. If you get to know your procurement people very well, they can just start giving you that work. Let me use that word again. Give you the work. You got to call nobody else. Give you the work. You ain't fighting with anybody to say, oh, I want her price is lower than his price and that price. No, your price is gold. At $10,000 and under, I don't go for no competition. So you need to go to Richland County, Greenville County, and all them counties, and all them cities that you close to figure out what is their modus operandi when it comes to small purchase. Because you can
Mr.
you can load
Tolbert,
up big time. Yes.
we have a question in the chat. What
Absolutely.
about small purchases for SaaS subscriptions?
Say that one more time.
What about small purchases for SaaS subscriptions under 10,000 that has to be paid every year?
Software.
Software?
Yeah, software.
Software subscription?
Yes,
Is under 10,000?
under 10,000, but has to be paid every year.
No, that's fine. We just pay you every year. That's it. We just pay you every year. That's how we do it. We just pay you every year for that subscription. We get a lot of businesses who are making a lot of money in Charleston County under that, with that $10,000 umbrella. They have no competition. I want you to think about that. If I call you 10 times a year and spend $10,000, that's $100,000 in your pocket.
He said that's too simple.
It is, but you shouldn't make it too hard because it's too simple. If I call you up and say, hey, I need somebody to come paint a wall, it's gonna cost $7,500, I can do it. It's your job. And if you take a credit card, swipe, you got it right there on the spot. Is that too difficult? Can't be. Can't be. And many governments are here with that or that. Now, in reality, for us, a small purchase is really up to $100,000. I'm gonna repeat that. For Charleston County government, cannot speak for any other government around here. But for us, a small purchase, we consider anything up to $100,000 as a small purchase.
I have
Well,
another question.
Yes.
Is that per county? Across
No,
all
this is-
agencies in a county, the total limit is $10,000 per year?
Let me go through that real quick, and I'll come back to what you just asked. So I'm going to spend up to $100,000 and not go over. Anything up to $100,000 in Charleston County, I sign off on it, and that's the end of it. Deal is done. Only thing happens after the $10,000 threshold, and 1 cent, 1 brown penny, as my mother always says, I gotta get 3 qualified quotes. That ain't too difficult. Even for consulting work, there's some consulting work we spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 with people. So I say, yeah, consultant can do this, yeah, call this person. Now up to $100,000, I gotta get 3 written quotes, not 3 proposals. I said, here, I am doing XYZ job. How much is it gonna cost you to do it? Oh, it's gonna cost me $76,000. Okay, $77,000, $78,000. We got the person at $76,000 because they gave us everything we needed. That's on road construction, that's on plumbing, that's on electrical, that's on fencing, that's on computer software, that's on everything that we buy. If it's under $100,000 and over $10,000, 3 qualified quotes. That's it. No sealed bid, nothing. 3 quotes written on a piece of paper. Now, different counties have different thresholds. Now, what I'm getting ready to do, after I get back off of my leave, is that $10,000 threshold, I'm gonna move it up to $20,000 to get council approval. The reason why is because the cost of goods and services are going up. So we can't just keep choking people when they gotta, oh, I gotta go. No, go get it. You got somebody who can do it, go get it. So learn the places that you want to work with. Learn their procurement process. Because when you learn this part right here, this is where, as a small business, and that's what I tell all small businesses for the past several years, this is where you're gonna make your money. Right there, when you look at that agency, so let me get this agency. This agency says their small purchases is 25,000 and less. So I can really get in there and make some inroads, but at the same time, make sure you get to know all those procurement officials in that agency and you work with them. There are people I can pick up the phone. Matter of fact, there's a firm here in Orangeburg. I call that firm all the time for some construction work. I said, can you get down here and do this? Because I know he has everything. He's always in my face. There's another firm in Charleston, do the same thing. Call them up. Hey, people gotta know you're there, but if no one knows that you're there, no one gives you a call. Pure and simple. You're like being on the other side of the moon where it's dark. Nobody sees you over there. So I asked her, come on the other side of the moon, shine the light on you, we can see you. How can we get some work done for you? We'll talk about sub work later, but we want you to get, here's what I want you to get straight work with a government agency. Because when you get sub work, somebody is exactly what it is. It is sub, right, Al?
Yes.
It's already watered down. They're gonna try to choke you to do work at such a low price, but you want the job, but you take it. But if you got the direct contract, you the man, you the woman at the top. You the person at the top. So therefore the check comes directly to you, and then you distribute it among your business the way you see fit. So you want to put yourself in the position and to get some work. And some people look at me and go, oh, I don't know, we had a program, I think I met him a couple of weeks ago, one of our programs, we have a meet and greet every year. We have a meet and greet every year. We have a lot of businesses at the meet and greet, and they come to us at the end and they say, oh, 7 people we already gave contracts to. I said, tonight, really? Yeah, this person's doing this. I see some people looking, I said that. People walk away from that meet and greet with work. And then Al remembers when we used to have the one meet and greet that we used to call it from contact to contract. We came to Charleston County, we had all our agencies represented, and everybody told you what they had going on, and it was your job to make a connection with that agency, that department with the Charleston County to get some of their work. And we have people walking with a lot of work. And we have one good, feel-good story I always tell people. This gentleman came down from Greenville, got stuck in traffic. You've heard that story before. And he came through the room and he says, I don't know why I came here. He said, I'm wasting my time. And he says, nobody buys from me. Well, at the time, he said this. He said, I don't know why I came here. He said, I got stuck in traffic and wasted gas. He talked to one person, and that was our parts and warehouse manager. The guy said, I hear you sell tires. He says, yes. He says, the place where we bought tires, they have a strike. And he says, we need tires. So right there on the spot, he needed $250,000. And for the next 15 years, he sold us tires exclusively in almost all of our vehicles. Well, yeah. It got to the point where he was doing so good with us, we didn't have to order the tires. He knew we needed them, so he would just send them, we just send them a check. So when you see programs of those natures, you don't need to go to all of them. Make sure you, when you go, you just don't go to wave at people, eat the food, and run out the room. Shake somebody's hand and see what they need. Program we had back in late February, mid-March, many businesses walked out and they told us who they had connected with and how these people were going to actually get work in the next few days. Contracts were already laid out. They just need to come to a final agreement. So what you want to do is put yourself in that position. I heard some consulting back in the room, back in the back table. And I know before I left yesterday, I had 3 people come, well, we need a consultant for this, Barrett. We need a consultant for that. I said, stop. So I don't feel like listening to this thing. Talk to me when I get back tomorrow. So I want to talk to those consultants because I want to talk to these 2 young men to see exactly what they do. So I can introduce them to the proper people in the county of Charleston to see if they can make a connection. That's what I want to do. There's a gentleman in the room that sells promotional products. And we got 2 organizations right now that they do a lot of spending of money on promotional products. So I'm going to make sure he gets connected to them. That's what we do. We have some folks here who do janitorial or commercial cleaning. We got a couple of buildings that are near the end. They need cleaning services. Maybe they can go in and do the final cleaning services. So I'm going to introduce them to those. Plus, we got some other buildings going up because at the end, we need those buildings cleaned out. So That's how you do it. Then you have J.E. Dunn. They're throwing up a lot of buildings in Old Naval Base Control. They're gonna need services. So you wanna talk to this junk. But from a standpoint, and the one thing we do, and one thing good procurement directors do, is I'm not spending money every day, but I know folks who are spending. So we connect people to other people to ensure that small businesses get an opportunity to grow their business. So in that process there, with Charleston County, like I said, learn where you are. When you're all in the Mecklenburg area, so you want to look at York County and some of the counties around North Carolina. And then you want to take a look at those. But you want to put yourself, and you start talking to procurement officials, that's where you want to go. Because my staff knows, and I'm a different person. My staff knows that we just don't come to work to get a pay. I tell them, if you come here to get a paycheck, go someplace else. Go to Burger King. I don't want somebody to come in and get a paycheck. I want somebody to come in and help you.
Mr. Tolbert, I got another question from the chat. Who is your
Sure.
who is your counterpart for Greenville County?
No one like him in Greenville County. That's the problem. They might somebody with his title, but there's no one like you in Greenville County.
I don't know the procurement director in Greenville County. I honestly do not. So I do not know, but make sure this person gets my information so we can have a conversation. I'm very enthusiastic, and I'm a procurement director, but I'm also, my main background and outlook is I'm really into business development more so than, and I'm also into community development, yes, as well as just being a procurement director. Yeah, I can sit there and get a paycheck every other Friday, but what have I done? I can't stand before the good Lord and say, oh, I did your work, I didn't do his bidding. My job is to help connect all those dots. So I have a passion to make this work for a number of reasons, because when you grow small businesses, you grow the economy. And it's also a community relations issue because small businesses generally hire most of the people in the area anyway. So therefore, you're taking a person off of the street potentially, you're taking somebody potentially off of the welfare rolls, you're taking somebody who's disenfranchised and you give them a chance to have a job. This is one less person you got to worry about. You got a person working on a highway construction project, right? And weather's starting to get warm. That man or that woman is working all day long in the heat. They're working in field. Come Friday, they get their paycheck. Saturday, they're running their errands. They're too tired to go hang out at the nightclub and do something food. Sunday, hopefully they go to church. Sunday afternoon, they rest. Monday, they're back at work. So you're going to reduce crime. And at the same time, you're going to take somebody and take them off of the unemployment rolls and put them in the employed role, and also teach the person a skill, a valuable skill. So that's why I work hard and tirelessly to do what I do. And that's why I have a focus on small business development, because I know that's where all the people are going to get hired. So, no, we've been on the slide for a long time, but I want you to really, really just put your mind in that slide. Before you even go talk to that procurement director in Greenville County, wherever you go, find out what is their form of procurement and how you fit perfectly into that, okay? Then, of course, we have anything that's over $100,000 and up. That goes out for public bid. We won't get to that. Some of you may be able to bid on some of these projects, but where it does come when we have these large projects is the firms come to us and say, do you have subs? What kind of subs are you looking for? What trades are you looking for? That's when we take all those trades and pull them out of the database. So look, call these people right here. They could be viable subs for your particular project. You got it? They're like, okay, we'll call these folks up. And sometimes we can give them a nudge. Call these folks right here. I've seen their work is excellent. They're scratching at the door. Give them a chance. Okay, we'll give them a chance. And that's what we do. Because those businesses, when they come to us and they've been on one of our projects, especially on a big construction project, road project, vertical project, they got to have subs. We require it. And we say, hey, look, here's our list. This is what we're looking for. And they're stuff, hey man, we got these people here. We have some subs. We have stuff here. He's no longer a sub, he's prime now. But he worked, we had a big library project. We did 6 brand new libraries. We introduced the prime to this sub. Well, the guy called me up and he said, man, he's wherever this firm go, they take me with them. I said, excuse you? He said, Barrett. He said, that's why I hadn't called you in over a year. I said, I know. So I said, we used to love each other. I said, we used to talk. I said, you disappeared on me. He said, wherever this firm goes, he said they had 7 projects. None of them less than $75 million. And he said, I had this piece of everyone. So I said, you eating good right now? He said, yeah, because he gained weight when I saw him.
Oh, Paragon, I know who that is. I know the company.
But we had several other people like that when they called me up and they were like, we got this firm that you sent to us. I said, so y'all stole my vendor? Yeah. You won't see him again. We got them all over the Southeast. But those are the kind of relationships that we try to build with you and the prime contractor. So that you're not saying, oh, they got you. That's how you build those relationships. You bring people to the table. And I never forget when we had the meeting. And it was one of the most interesting meetings we ever had. This was a couple of years ago when I introduced the two firms. Charleston County was under hurricane back in 2018. You probably remember this one. All the roads coming into Charleston was blocked. Both of them were coming down 26, so they had to take alternate routes to get there. They both got to my office, and I said, God, I'm getting ready to go to the EOC and work. I said, I'm getting ready to put my emergency operations hat on. They both came into the office. They both sat down. They're both, it was hard getting there. I said, no, I was just sitting there drinking water, looking at them. We had a conversation. They went out to a restaurant. I never saw neither one of them again. The next time I heard from them, they thanked me for introducing themselves to each other. They formed a partnership, and the guy says, I bring wherever I go. I don't worry about this price. He said, we work that out in the end. That's what you want to get to. When you work those kind of details out, that's what you want to get to. Okay? That's what we do in these partners here. Folks will call us, do you know somebody who can do this? Yes, I got somebody who can do this kind of work. Yes, I have somebody who can do this kind of work. Yes, I know these people. Here's a list. 5 folks can do that work. Why don't you give all of them a chance right here? So there's a relationship that is formed. And that relationship is formed for a reason. It is just not to, like I said, we can give you a contract today, but what happens when tomorrow comes? I want you to form a relationship, not just with that one vendor, but several vendors. Because when that bond is formed, that means there's transferring of information, there's working together, there's trust. You build trust with that vendor. You build trust with that government agency. Because when you build trust, I don't pick the phone up. Hey, I'm gonna call these people right here. This is who you need to talk to. They can do it for us. Okay? Any questions on folks online? Good. We do these quite frequently in the government. They're called sole source non-competitive procurement. Now, if you're selling and you're doing something that is so unique, that's what we do, a sole source. That's a true sole source procurement. Now, non-competitive is a little bit different. Let's just say you did some work for us, but we say, hey, that work that you did is so specialized, I don't want nobody else to come in here and touch it. I'm gonna call you back, you won't have any competition, and we're gonna sign off on it. Myself and the county administrator can sign off on sole source non-competitive procurements up to $1 million. We don't have to go to council. Yes, sir. He looked at me. So over the million, as long as we see $1 million, we're gonna sign off on it and say, let's go to work. Go to work. Nobody else gonna get that work. You did it, it's special. You put that fence up. I want that fence, the way it was done, I want you to come back and continue working on it. Really? Yeah, sure. Non-competitive procurement. Get to know how your government agency does this type of work. You got me?
Mr. Tolbert, I got some more questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I have a few of them here. I have any drug testing contacts that are not in the statewide contract?
We have a drug and alcohol treatment center. However, we do sign people up to provide us with on-the-spot drug and alcohol tests. The reason why we do that in the county is because sometimes people crash vehicles or they come to work and fall down. So we want to know if they're drunk or high on the job. So therefore, there are opportunities for every government agency to have people to come in and do immediate drug and alcohol testing. Right. Next question.
All right.
Online.
Would a procurement director be a good go-to person to initiate contact with a county?
Yes, absolutely. If the person got a bad attitude, try somebody else.
Okay.
There's some procurement directors who just have nasty attitudes. And I don't talk to them either. I don't, because I have time for negative energy. I know I'm a little bit arrogant, but that's just the way. You gotta have some positive energy. As I stated, is it a job or is it a career? Why are you there? You know, and here's what I tell folks. I have several businesses represented in the group. They didn't come in here to hear me tell them no. They could have stayed home for this. You came to figure out how do we work together. Don't tell, well, we can't do this. I know what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. So that's my answer to that question. What's your next question?
How can I get your contact info?
Okay, it'll be here for you at the end of the program, and John gathers and makes sure everybody gets it, but we'll get it to you here at the end of the workshop here, okay?
Okay, last question. This is someone asking for clarification on the $10,000 limit question. They were told by DNR that because this person did work with another department, and because of that, they couldn't get the $10,000 limit on another site.
Oh, that's not true. That's wrong. That's not correct. I know with us, I got several businesses here. I can pick any one. I got the gentleman over here who does promotional products. He comes to me on one particular item, and we cut a deal, and it's $9,000. We do that. He can go to another department and sell for $7,000, another for $5,000, another for $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, whatever. So that's not how that works. No, that's not right. Okay.
Emily, you had someone ask earlier about the Greenville County Procurement. If they go into LinkedIn and do a search for Greenville County Procurement, the person's gonna show up, the director will show up. And you're welcome to give my contact information if you want, because I'm familiar with the Greenville area.
Okay. Got it? Let's talk about emergency procurement. That occurs, and of course, we all learned emergency operations a couple of years ago, but let's get into that. Emergency occurs when there is such conditions which must create an immediate and serious need for supplies, services, or construction that cannot be met through normal procurement procedures, and lack of when there's such a serious threat that's going on. So therefore, if there's a hurricane, earthquake, tornado that hits, emergency procurement goes into effect. We were all under a very serious emergency situation 4 years ago when the pandemic hit. We hope and pray that never happens again, but we have to be prepared for that. So take the word emergency and look at it, and I'll go back to when we had an emergency situation, which was the pandemic a couple of years ago, COVID. At that point, all the rules that the government has go straight out of the window. Go straight out the window. So everybody was home, things were looking desperate and despair. That means the government at that point in time, procurement directors, all buyers are told, go spend, get now as soon as possible. I don't worry about a threshold. I don't worry about 3 quotes. I don't worry about at that point, okay, I got to put out a formal solicitation. No, I had a credit card. I had an unlimited balance, credit limit. Unlimited. You know what that means? So that means one morning I picked up the phone and I said, can you get me X, Y, and Z? The person said, yeah, it costs $15,000. Can you take my credit card over the phone? Yes. Buy. One person, I spent $750,000 with in about 5 minutes. $750,000, no competition. None. Zero.
That was a beautiful word, sir, contractor.
Needed a trucking company to haul some stuff. The guy said, well, let's remember, I don't care what your price is. Get it here. He said, I got to go to Arkansas. I said, I don't care if you got to go to Alaska. Get it. I need masks. I need gloves. I need everything. Credit card went out. Pop. Here. One guy looked at me. He said, you put $750,000 in the credit card. I said, you got a problem. I said, I can spend more. I said, I can spend more.
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
So remember when the bridge collapsed in Georgia right before COVID? Y'all remember that? C.W. Matthews got the single largest emergency contract in the history of the state of Georgia.
Right. Right.
24 hours a day had to work to repair that bridge.
To repair. Right.
Yeah.
So when you see emergency procurement, that's when you sit up and say, what do I do? Because you all have cleaning business. We have people who did not want to clean in our detention center. I had to beg somebody to go in there and clean up. Bro, I don't want to go there. Really? This is the problem. So we need every service you can think of to get into these places to do better. Yes.
It's not even what you do, because we pivoted during that time.
Right.
Because they weren't buying promotional products, but they were buying face masks, they were buying face shields, so we pivoted during that time, selling non-promotional products to our vendors who were under sole source authority.
And I buy it.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman I know, I know he does, he called me up, he said, Barrett, this is what I'm selling. I said, I need some Lysol. I said, I need Lysol real bad. He said, I got it. I said, and I said, how much do you have? And he told me, I said, I need all of it right now. And he said, okay, do I submit a purchase order? I said, no. I said, you got a credit card machine? He said, oh. I said, you got a credit card machine? He said, yeah. I said, okay, let me give my credit card number. He said, you serious? I said, yes. He said, Barrett, you serious? I said, yes. I said, do I need to send a truck to get? He said, no, I'll drive it down there. I said, okay. So when you hear that word pandemic, you hear that word emergency, do not panic. Go into dollar mode. I'm serious now. You're a business owner. Because every time you put your hand in your pocket, you're spending money. But sometimes put your hand in your pocket and leave some money in there. You go into business mode. That's right. And you go into business mode real quick and say, how can I sell to Charleston County, Beaufort County, Berkeley County, because a hurricane coming through? We had an issue. We had people at the North Charleston Coliseum. Al, same storm. Bunch of people, no water. Not a glass of water anywhere to be found. And we had 160,000 bottles of water that we needed to get to the Coliseum. And everybody that had a trucking company had already shut their trucks down and left out. I caught one guy, he was putting his truck in his parking lot. I said, boy, don't you park that truck? I said, don't you park that truck? I said, I need you to get over to Costco. They got a bunch of crates for them to load up. It took them 4 truckloads to get all that water over. He said, what should I charge you? I said, what should you charge me? So he got back and I knew him, and his wife said, thank you. She said, I'll get me a new person coach. I said, but that's what happens in an emergency procurement. Get to know how all these processes work, because if you look at South Carolina, the most likeliest counties to go through emergency procurements all over the coast and the counties connected to just the rest of it. Those are the counties you look at. Name storm. Wow, coming up the coast. It's not looking too good. Might be looking good for me.
That's exactly right.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yes, it will be chaos, confusion.
I started my business after Hurricane Hugo.
Right.
And the damage Hugo did had to be cleaned up.
Right.
That's when I started my business.
For you all in the cleaning business first, you said, well, how does that help me? Well, Charleston County government owns 250 buildings. Ceilings leak. Some of those buildings are over 300 years old. Ceilings leak. We need people to come in here and clean up, get the mold out. That's the kind of work you on. You said, you can clean commercial. Oh, y'all can do it. I don't sit there and have with a price. I said, can you take this credit card? Yeah. Oh, I don't take credit cards, but I can. We'll figure out a way to pay you. You will get paid. That's what you do. Trucking company. I need all kinds of stuff brought into us. Cots, blankets, generators. All those things need to be brought in. All those things need to be brought in. And if there's a real bad hurricane, we need people to come in and counsel folks. Help folk out. Help folk out. So you have all kinds of things going on around there. But an emergency procurement, that's what happens. That's what happens. So you put yourself in mind, how does my business work within infrastructure and at the same time make me some money? That's the point. Any questions about emergency procurement? Because remember, you don't lose my card. Emergency procurement comes up, you send me an email. Barrett, you need to buy this? Yeah, I need to buy this right now. All my buyers, all 7 of them, they're out there looking for vendors. Because I always tell people, I said, we like the insurance company. Procurement, they go, when they apply for a job, I said, look in there. I said, if you're working in Charleston County Procurement, we don't leave during the storm. We come to work right after the storm is over. You are sitting there with your P card, your cell phone if it works, and you are doing one thing, buying. Services and products, period. You're buying, you're making purchases. Any questions about emergency procurement? All right.
I got a question in the chat, not about emergency procurement though. It says, who can I talk to about getting in my business with the drug testing as someone to contact? So I have a drug testing business.
I will be the initial part of contact since I am here. I am flying solo today. So at the end, all of my information will be available to everybody. So you can send me an email. I think someone has already sent me an email that we sent a vendor application to get you in there. So that's how that works. I won't talk about ethical and unethical practices because we don't engage in those, so we'll go past that. We do everything legally and fair. We'll go past that. We'll go past the procurement do's and don'ts. We'll get to something else. Conflict of interest, we don't get to any of that. All right. We have an Office of Business Opportunities. That person was supposed to be with me today. Unfortunately, he resigned last week, Monday, abruptly. So I'm taking that part on. This is the part that helps you out. We have a minority woman and a small business program where you can get certified in both. Now, we recognize the state of South Carolina's minority women-owned and disadvantaged business program through the SCDOT, but we have our own. We have our own small business enterprise program that was created back in 2007 by yours truly, which has become a program that many government agencies across the state and the nation, to include the federal government, has copied, which is not a problem for me. The program was designed to help out small businesses. And when we created the program, we didn't realize back at the time in 2007 that this program would stand the test of time, but not only, the Supreme Court cannot touch it. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. We still have a goal of 25% on all of our projects for minority and women-owned businesses. And we go through a serious process with it. And this is where the procurement director and staff encourages and do what they're supposed to do, right, Al? Whenever we have a project to go out, and we've had this happen, and a firm comes back and they had no women-owned or minority-owned business participation. I said, what's the problem? We didn't call anybody. I said, okay, I'm not gonna call you. Your bid just got rejected. We reject your bid on the spot. Oh, I get called all kinds of names in the book. I said, keep calling me them names. I said, I had drill instructors that called me even worse. So don't bother me. I said, I got thick skin. It rolls right off like a duck. So we have that. We encourage it. And one person had me on the phone. I tell the story all the time. Al knows about it. The guy called me on the phone and he talked to me for 35 minutes straight, telling me how he wasn't going to submit to the MWDBE program. I actually fell asleep on him twice, but he kept talking. Then at the end, he says, what happens if I don't comply with this program? I said, well, your bid would be rejected. He said, you got a list of small minority-owned businesses? I said, I certainly do. Here they are. So we go through that with people. But a lot of times people get, is there teeth in the program to help small minority businesses out? The teeth comes from the people who run the program. Either you sit on the side or you get up in the game and play. And so I make sure I'm in the game play. Let's talk about the SBE program, because everybody here qualifies for the SBE program. I love the SBE program because the SBE program is for everybody. And everybody is loved, and I love everybody. But SBE program is for this reason. We will certify you as an SBE. I don't care if your business is in Charlotte, North Carolina, or in Atlanta, Georgia. You can participate in our SBE program. We only ask for a few things: that you fill out the application, that you are, it is a race and gender neutral program, so the Supreme Court can't touch it, that you are for profit, that your gross receipts do not exceed $7.5 million over a 3-year average. What we want to do with this program is help you grow your business so that you, like I said, treat the business like a cruise ship, a long cruise ship. But when you get to a certain point, you know you got to get off that cruise ship. So we grow you over that $7.5 million you graduate from the program. We don't have a ceremony, we just shake your hand and thank you, but you still work with us in some capacity. We have mandates in our business, in our organization on there. So as small businesses, we always going to reach out and touch you. Because in every category, let me see if I can look on the next one. They got all this pretty stuff. They missed some. I'll come back. So what we do is on our large projects, construction, I gotta yell at them people when I get back. Construction, it's a good deal, not a bad deal. Construction, services, we are required to have a certain percentage of small business participation. If they don't have it, Stop sign goes up, contract, the solicitation gets rejected. Automatic rejection. Yes, ma'am.
Is SBE certification different on each county? For example, we already
This
have
is-
an SBE.
This is Charleston County.
Yeah.
So we have to certify.
If everybody else has one, you'd have to certify them. But this is for us. You know, some counties don't have it yet. We're trying to help them get up to speed.
Our business already SBE certified in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
For example, if we will
Participate.
participate in Charleston
We
County,
need to be certified.
Yes, ma'am.
again,
Yes. Certified again. We got a different program. Different program.
That revenue amount, is that specific to Charleston County or overall business revenue is at the 7.5?
Overall business firm. You get some of this, you good. So we have mandatory, so when they're actually going out, we say, hey, look, you get 3 quotes. Good. Make sure one's coming from the SB. So I tell my buyers, the first thing they do is they pull up their list, okay, there's the SB that provides the service. We're gonna give them a call, because we have to give them a call. Have to give them a call. Anything over $100,000, and we see that SBEs are providing that service, that SBE number goes into that contract, and the vendor has to meet it. They come down there sometimes with a violin, and I put on my sunglasses, and I sit there and I start, okay, what's the problem? Well, I can find, who did you call? We got people out here who can do that kind. Give them a call, bring them on.
And Barrett, you said that is on everything coming out of there, that they have to do that for SB.
Now, how does that the procurement code get in a county? Do you write it? Does the county council?
This is a good question. This is a good question. Got 9 people on our council. Have to sit there, we write out what we call the yellow sheet, but we write out the documentation first, legal looks at it, goes through an internal review. Then they'll call the chair of county council and say, this is what we're gonna do. So in 2007, because Charleston County was getting beat over the head, because Charleston County did what is called a, what do you call this thing? They did a study.
Disparity study?
Disparity study. That disparity study came back to Charleston County, was ugly as can be. It was bad. And that's just, okay, we gotta do something. So the disparity study helped develop the SBE program. So when it came out, and at the time, guess who was on Charleston County that encouraged this? Senator Tim Scott. He was the first person to throw his hand up. Yes, we need this and more. That's how we got it. And that's why I got over to the county, because Tim Scott begged me to come over there. He was vice chair of county council. He said, please leave the city and come to the county. So we got all of them on board. We had one council member who was kind of like wavering about it, and then they pulled him in the back room, talked to him, and he changed his mind. He says, oh, this is the purpose of this. Yes, got it. It is encouraged. And then sometimes our contractors will call the councilman saying, they're telling me I got to comply with the SBE. They say, okay, what's the problem? Comply. So all of them, they fully are on board.
It was initiated by procurement.
Correct. It was initiated by procurement.
Now, my procurement director in my county isn't a Barrett Tolbert. Is that my fault as a small business for not pushing for a Barrett Tolbert? Or is it just kind of like, well, you know, this guy may be a political appointee?
What I've seen with procurement.
You can answer that offline, matter of fact. I don't want to get you. Yeah. We'll answer that offline. I'm sorry.
As I said early on at the beginning of this presentation.
I just heard myself. Yeah.
When it came out.
Yeah, it came out. Sounds smart.
Is it a job for the person, or is it really a career where you really want to make a difference in your community? That's just the point. And you have to take a look at how you're doing business. Some procurement directors get comfortable. They feel that it's rubber stamp stuff. Oh, all this happened, I don't care. And I sit there and go, okay, who are the small businesses on this project? Who are the subcontractors on this project? Did they reach out here locally? Did they call anybody who could do work? Did they call people off our certified list? No, okay, we're gonna have a come to Jesus meeting. Let's sit down and talk. What's going on? I bring the business, what's going on? I said, okay, now I said, stand up, procurement director. Here's what the ordinance is giving me the authority to do. I'm gonna shut this program down until you tell me what you're doing against local small business participation or certified business in this project. Okay, we'll be back. Okay. I said, I don't want to issue a work stoppage. And then things happen that we see that there's a problem. Or people will call me up and says, well, I was listed, but they never gave me a call. I said, hey, come on in, let's have a talk. Let's have some coffee. You got these people you got listed down here, but they said they never got a phone call. No. Stop. Either they work or I shut you down. Period. Either they work or I shut you down.
Can I hire you? No.
So you have to be, that word down there is everything else. Someone has to be the advocate for small business. Someone has to be the advocate. And small businesses, like I said, get beat up. But how if the door is open, you're gonna walk through, someone's gonna be the advocate. We've had some nasty meetings with some vendors, prime contractors, excuse me, it's like, no, this is not gonna happen. You will, you must, you shall. You signed this right here. So when you sign that contract, and this is what they look at you, and some of them will look at you twist out. They got these young ladies right here listed as a subcontract. So we put out a solicitation. They don't realize that when they respond to us, their response is part of the contract. So if these people right here are listed as subs, that goes into the contract. So we come back and say, well, we haven't changed the law. You can't change nothing. What does it say right here? You need my approval. No, keep, they gotta work. Ain't happening, not today. So that's where the advocacy part is. Okay, take Darryl Williams' name out. Him gone. Holly Chester is the person you reach out to get your SBE application. So I'm gonna let that sit right there while we take a break. Oh, and I would say break if you have questions, but please write her name, phone number, and email address down and email her, and she will email you that SBE application right on the spot. Holly Chester, she will email it to you right on the spot.
We got a question in the chat.
Please go with questions. I want everybody to get this information up here. Yes,
Okay.
what's the question?
Will you send the PowerPoint out? And if you want to send it to me, I can send it out to everyone.
Okay, what I will do is leave the flash drive of the PowerPoint with John Gathers, and I'll let him take care of that with you, okay? So any and everybody who wants that PowerPoint can get it. Got it, 61 pages. Just remember, Darryl Williams is not in that position anymore.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say, one company bids for the county,
Mhm.
and I'm the subcontractor.
Yes.
Does he have to put me on the contract as a janitorial cleaning?
Well, what it is when he bids, and I prefer not give these questions. The J.E. Dunn bids on one of our projects, right? Because I got a big project coming up, and J.E. Dunn might run after whatever. So you get this big construction company to bid on the project, and they have you listed in their solicitation to me as that vendor who's going to provide the janitorial service for them. When they submit that bid, when they sign that contract, that solicitation is sent with you in there attached to the contract. So you're married to them as far as Charleston County is concerned. So when they do that particular work, and let's say they also have this firm listed, I'm going to look and say, these two firms are doing the work? Yes, we are good in America. We are good in Charleston County. If they come back and say, okay, this is my list of vendors, I'm saying, oh, hold on a minute, you signed a contract, you got these two firms right here listed. What happened? No, not unless you backed out, they can't back you out.
What's that about?
You back out, they have to send you a letter saying you backed out and I have to approve. Then I'm gonna call you and say, why are you backing out? I wanna know about why the relationship was bad.
Okay,
Because I don't wanna call my building club and say, why y'all treat these people rough?
okay.
Because I had somebody back up one time, Al, and I almost had a stroke a couple of years ago. So had a road construction project, John.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
And this is gonna be a politically correct question.
Okay.
So when you look at your pool of small available contractors.
Yes, sir.
Do they have to do a pre-qual to get to you? Because I want to see what I can do to help you get better contracts.
I would like for you to do a pre-qual for me to get them to that level.
Yes, sir.
So that they can get some information. Because one of the things with small businesses, they're missing a lot of information sometimes. And if they can get that information up front, even if they do come through there and they get approved, they still should come through this program for training, for information. So yes.
You give me a preliminary pre-qual of what your ideal vendor looks like, I'll make sure that they come.
And you brought that question up at the right time.
Okay.
Years ago, we had a huge road construction project, about $50 million. And they gave all the hauling to this one particular company, not Willie Fritz. So we got a call just before Christmas, get ready to go on our Christmas break. And they said the gentleman backed out of the contract. And I said, what? And I said, how much money is he leaving on the table? They said, right at $4 million. I almost jumped over the entire solar system. And I pulled him to the side. I said, dude, what's going on here? We built this program for you. He said, well, I don't want to make that much money in the taxes. I said, who cares? Who makes that much money? Pay your tax. Who cares? Pay your tax. You're making money to pay taxes. You're gonna leave $4 million on the table? Willie Frazier came and fixed the job.
All right, I guarantee you, Willie Frazier.
Hey, Willie,
will take it down.
But by all means, Mr. Frazier was my mentor and Senator Scott's mentor.
I said,
That's why we are where we are today, because of,
W. Frazier's son, Mr. Frazier was passed.
yeah,
But-
senior.
But that's the purpose of a program like what John Gavish runs and a program from Ms. Green runs, where they can help you prepare your business so when the money comes in, you don't make those kinds of mistakes when you're afraid to pay taxes or you're making too much money. I want to make that kind of money where I can tell Uncle Sam, here, leave me alone, get by. But he gave up that kind of money. When you go to these programs, they're going to help you figure out financially how to manage your money, how to reinvest your money back into your business. Not get scared and say, oh, well, you know, I got to pull my. So that's why these programs are great.
What's your budget for the county right now? I'm sorry, Mr. Tolbert, I mean to cut you off.
Spending budget?
Yes, sir.
We don't technically put out what we have to spend in budget. All we say is we spend about $1 billion a year.
That's what I wondered. I thought you were $1 billion county. That's what I wanted. About $1 billion a year. That's a good rough estimate.
More or less.
And then we got a $1 billion firm in here, Blake, that you work for. You mind telling us a little bit about J.E. Dunn and what you got going on in Charleston County since you came down? I appreciate
I
you.
want him at the end.
Okay, we'll wait for you at the end. Say the best for last.
That goes a couple ways. I need to introduce you to Chris Taylor. Okay. She just took over our fleet operations, and we're doing something different with our fueling system because we were kind of using a whole antiquated way to get fuel and to get fuel different places. Plus, we have a landfill, and we also have a recycling center. So you and I need to have a separate conversation, and I need to get you in Charleston. I need you to get you talking with Chris Taylor. Okay? Because we just built a new fueling station, and we got to build one. Next question. Everybody got this information. Let's move on. Okay, maybe we'll do P card. We'll go through that quick. Charleston County has purchase cards. We use our P cards. We spend about $200 million a year with our P cards. We spend so much money that every year Bank of America sends us a check back, a rebate check.
How long does it take to get paid on the P card?
Instant. As soon as that's what I thought. Go straight to your bank. Go straight to bank. Straight to your bank account. You come in the office or we do it right over the phone. I bought a water truck for $400,000 on a P card. We've gone to car dealerships and put the P card on the table and buy cars right on the spot. So we use our P card all the time. Sheriff vehicles, guns, bullets, vests, you name it. Get ready to buy a helicopter for $7 million, but the company couldn't take a credit card for something. For Ghost products, consultant services, we use it for everything, everywhere, every time. Yes, sir. Janitorial.
Standard county procurement for your small business owners. You got a quick pay system for that, or do they have to go see a factory company?
Here's what we do. We do if you get a check.
Okay.
We cut checks every day of the week.
All right.
We are built to cut checks every day of the week. As long as your invoice is okay, we cut checks every day of the week. You can either have it mailed to you, or you can come right there and stand by the finance office door, and they'll bring it right out here.
On the spot, on the spot, on the spot, on the spot.
I can say a lot of things about Charleston County, but I can say one thing. When it comes to paying people and doing its operation, you're very efficient. Very efficient.
Absolutely.
And if we award you a contract and you say, hey, look, I need some upfront money, we will pay you upfront. So as long as that project officer who's over that job says, I authorize you to get paid upfront to start, we will do it. So you can get your supplies and get going.
I got a question.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, y'all, I have terrible timing. So I have one comment. It says, don't buy a heli, hire drone people. And then,
I know.
and then I have a question that says, is there a way to find out upfront what the annual P card budget for a specific department is?
The way we put it, that answer does not exist. As long as they're spending money, they can use their P card, not unless I take it away from them. So what you do with every other government agency is try to find out as much information as you can as we have just presented to you this morning. Charleston County is one of 46 counties in the state. We have some large ones, we have some small ones, but be proactive to work with these counties. People get comfortable, and I tell everybody, government is not to make just one person rich. It is to spread the wealth to everyone who has and give opportunity. Some people get comfortable. Oh, I always work with old John. I always work with old Joe. Old Susie always come over here. Okay, there are a lot of Joes and a lot of Susies out here with a lot of different businesses. Give them an opportunity. For the people who are in the consulting field, we have a lot of consulting work. So I will talk to them as well too, to figure out specifically what do they consult, who they can talk to in the county, and how they can work with. What was your business again, sir? Fuel guy, fuel supplier guy. So me and you have that separate talk. Consulting specifically. What type? Teenagers? So you probably need to talk.
Mental health too.
Mental health?
I'm not sure if I did as a mental health person.
Okay, then you need to talk with our sheriff department who runs the detention center, because we have a juvenile detention center there, and those kids need to have issues. Also the oldest, because we have a drug and alcohol treatment center, and those kids must counsel. So there is potential work.
I'm ready.
Let's go workforce development and HR services.
There's a person I need to introduce you to. Okay. Oh, yours is easy. We start getting you all in front of these construction companies.
And one question for you. So,
Have more than just one. Yes, sir.
I got a bunch of them, but some of them don't need to be on.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so when you're looking at the landscape right now, right? You have a lot of people who have been legacy, 20, 30 years, same people getting the same contract. They're retiring, they're moving out. The kids don't want the business. Are you seeing older businesses starting to fall off?
Yes, well, I'm starting to close out.
Okay.
Because the kids don't want to take over the business. Parents, and some of them, what people would want to do is see the person would sell them the business. What I always tell people with a business, treat a business like you treat a child. You birth a child, you birth a business. So it's from the inception, from the cradle to the grave. And usually once a year, I go to Baltimore, South Carolina. They have a program down there. We talk about that. How do you, and that's the internal part that you all help out with. And there's some other people help out with too. Because a lot of people run very successful businesses and they get to the end and they're ready to retire. They're, well, some of them are definitely, business is very successful, nobody is there to take over.
Right.
So you get to the point, you say, I ran this business for so many years, it's provided me with great wealth. Who do I turn it over to? Kids don't want it. Do you just close it out? Or do you sell the business to somebody else? And then you sell the business, tell the person, hey, look, for 1 year, you got me for free. After that, you got me as a consultant to you as an advisor to the business. You can take a look at it that way.
Is that kind of a risky proposition for a procurement director right now, to have all your kind of high quality marquee clients just kind of disappearing over the next 5, 10 years?
It is, because, you know, there are times where, and the world of government is kind of interesting. When the economy is tight, we get a whole lot more businesses knocking them out. When the economy is robust, people are like, well, government don't pay that much money, we don't do it. And I tell people that's the best time to get in. Because when those folks who are running after the private sector contracts, when that dries up, you and the government are already sucking up all that work. I don't want to use that word, but you're soaking up all that work. So now somebody got to fight with you to get you out of the place. Gotcha. And people are already kind of like, I trust these folks right here. I'm going to keep these folks right here because they're dependable. They're there when I need them, but I don't have to call them up. They're already there. They're working hard. They're putting forth the effort. So I already know them, but you coming in now, because you can't get work out there anymore. But I already got you in here running these jobs, doing these contracts. And we've had so many people, especially like janitorial contracts. We hired this one janitorial company, and this guy took the job during COVID to go clean up the worst place in the world, the detention center. In there. First time we had somebody clean the contract, nobody wanted the contract. Well, some other companies started not performing well. We had to terminate the contracts. We looked at them. Y'all want some work? We'll take it. We'll take it. So he went from a small contract. Now he has almost everything the sheriff department has, plus a new building we just constructed, which is about 4 floors, pretty large building. So you have those type of things happen. When you perform well, somebody is looking at you, somebody will keep you around. So that's the way I kind of look at it for a business. You see somebody going out, go buy them out. Go buy them out. And buy out their contracts. Because we had that happen. Somebody went out of business, another firm bought out the company. Sure. Just did an ovation and keep going.
Now, okay.
So this person got all of our libraries like this.
Okay.
That's our biggest janitorial contract.
Wow. Wow. So I ain't gonna ask you how much because I'm curious, but
it's public information.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions.
$5 million a year.
Whew. So one, if you're looking at building that relationship, the starting blocks.
Yes.
Do I send you a capability statement? Do I come to your office and do a 15-minute PowerPoint presentation? What gets you your juices flowing to kind of work with somebody, lack of a better term?
For me, I'm still old school.
Okay.
So I like face-to-face conversation.
Okay.
I don't even like sitting on the phone talking to the person too long. I get bored talking on the telephone. You probably know that. I don't talk long on the telephone. You sit down, you talk to me, we're looking face-to-face. There's a level of trust that's being built right there. And there's a level of understanding being built. There's a level of capability that I get from you, because when you come to my office, first thing people notice, there are notepads all over the place. Because I put you in that notepad, I don't throw my notepads away. They're in a box. And I'll go back 3 years ago and say, hey, folks come off, oh, right here on this day here. Down right here. Yep, I remember them. And I start writing down everything about you, and I make some concessions, I put it down, I walk in my office, I call a buyer who you would probably work with and say, I need you to come down here, I need you to meet somebody now. Well, I'm on the phone. You get off the phone, come to the door, I need you to meet somebody. This is the buyer who does this particular project, who works on these. Talk to this person. Okay, you got a project coming up, tell your vendors, this person right here can do work, and that's how it works. Okay. That's how I do business.
Gotcha.
Al knows how I do.
Gotcha. So next question is, if I feel some funny bit, I'll give you a perfect example. If I feel like a contract has been created for a certain person or certain people who've had pre-existing relationships to be able to win that.
Yes.
It's a little murky. Hard to figure out how you got a competitive bid with these drawings that look like they're in crayon. What do I need to do to make sure I can dispute that legally? And matter of fact, that may be an offline question too. I'm sorry. We might about to answer that one offline.
Every procurement office should have. We have what is called. We do debriefings. Everybody do debriefings. But if you feel something's amiss or something's out of line, you challenge a bid. Okay. You challenge a bid. There's a process you go through to challenge a bid that's going on, and that's happened a lot where people have challenged bids. And when they've challenged bids, some of them actually ended up in court. And judges have made a decision to know you awarded this incorrect. And procurement officers don't like it. They do not like it at all. And I tell folks, if you've done something, I had one challenge to a bid. We lost because the person internally who was supposed to give us information incorrectly interpreted what we were supposed to do. And that was our lawyer.
Yeah.
So it cost us $25,000, but we went back and did a award for the bid. Okay. But you have to be careful because you can have a challenge to a bid. There's a challenge process that everybody has for a bid.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Government P cards, like I said, they work. And especially during COVID, that's all how we spent money, was with the P card. That's how we spent money. And I used to get called every day, even though everybody was home. I was the only one who came in the office for about 4 to 5 hours, got all the phone calls. People would write me, I'm selling this, how quickly can you get it to me? And I had people, some people were phony, some people were genuine, and we made purchases. And I told some folks, I said, if you drive up to my building right now with your truck loaded with stuff, I'm coming outside. Either I'm going to give you a P card or you give me an invoice, and I can go back inside and I can get a check done. Like I said, think about it. I spent twice on a credit card, $750,000.
What you buy?
Mask is one of them. That was a quick purchase there. Yeah, mask.
This person sold me masks. There's one person, he sold me masks, thermometers, because we wanted everybody to have a thermometer at the desk.
Wow,
Gloves,
wow.
the full stuff, because our EMS people had to wear, when they went out, they had to wear the full garment, everything.
Really?
Yeah, EMS people had to be fully protected. We had a situation one day with our deputy sheriff picked up a gentleman who was sick. And he was in 2 vehicles, because they put him in one vehicle, that vehicle, something went wrong, they put him in another vehicle, and then they had to call EMS. So when they came out, this guy had full-blown COVID. So you had an EMS truck that had to be deadline, you had 2 cars that had to be deadline, plus these people had to go in quarantine, so we had to have people to clean those cars out.
Wow.
We had to have a company to come clean out our cars and our EMS trucks, because they were transporting COVID people.
And if you take a card purchase that high, you better factor in your merchant fee.
Right. Well, I had one person, he said, you gotta break this down. He said, my bank won't let me take this money. And one person said, he just bank thought he was doing something illegal. I said, well, it's a credit card. So you have those opportunities out there for you, but credit card, you use the credit card to the highest degree. Any questions on that? Because I won't get into all our policies and procedures. And some of our people in the county, their credit card limit is $150,000. All of our buyers have a limit of up to $1 million. My limit is $500 million. I won't go through the rest of that. So what I'll do is stop here. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. J.E. Dunn for a few moments. Let him talk about J.E. Dunn, some of the things they're doing, and then I'll get back into it if that's okay with you, Mr. Gill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You the star.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. Blake Knoblauch with J. Dunn. I run our pre-construction team. So I'm the one that gets the long list of MBE, SBE, and sends out our invitations to bid. My big push right now is making sure we know who we're talking to and going out to, right? So, yes, we send out a lot of invitations to bid for our projects. We've got a lot of great big projects coming up and a lot of great opportunity in the North Charleston area at the old Navy Yard and with Jamestown Properties. But our big thing is just being able to reach out, like Mr. Tolbert said, our lists go out. We spread a wide net, but if I need a cleaning company and I don't know who to call, and I don't know the contact over there, that's an issue, right? Our invitation is gonna go into your inbox and it's gonna die there, right? And so having your contact in my phone, I'm the one that's making the phone calls. If I need a mason, being able to reach out to Paragon and get their president on the phone, that's important. So that's why I'm here today is to continue to spread our net, continue to get to know everybody face to face, and be able to bring on partners onto our projects instead of reaching out to the same folks over and over, right? So really, yes, we're a large $7 billion company, but what we push here is we're community builders, right? We've gotten that big because we've got 26 different regions. That's not what I like to give our spiel on, right? We build Charleston, we build Beaufort, we build Myrtle Beach, we build Columbia. That's what my focus is. My focus is on you all here today and the small businesses here that build our community. And so I can't know everybody on a personal level, but I try to spread my net as much as I can and get to know everybody on that personal level. So that's kind of my spiel.
Thank you for coming, Blake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Mr. Tolbert, I gotta say, man, been in business for a long time, all across this country. I've never met a procurement director like you. I met people in procurement that are kind of like you, but I've never met a director in my life with your type of passion, your type of drive. I met him last year. He came in my office. He told me who he was and what he wanted to do. And I looked at him. I said, "You sure? You're not gonna lose your job for this?" And he was like, "Oh no, this is my job, John." And I was like, I gotta step my game up. I gotta make sure I'm providing that same level of value and the same level of service. So I just want to commend you for being a one of a kind and doing what you're doing for the state, man. We need more. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Are there any questions online?
I need to get the contact information for the gentleman in the polo that was just speaking for one of the folks.
Mr. J. Dunn.
I'll make sure Blake's information gets put out. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
This part is where I usually, of course, it's getting close to about 12. This is where we have what I call a conversation. Folks just want to talk, they want to ask, they want to make a comment. It was a little difficult for the people online. They have to come through you, Emily. But I'll start here. Anybody have anything that they would want to bring out that I potentially did not cover? I know everyone in the room got a business card of mine, correct? Yes. Okay, good. At this point, this is where we just, like I said, we have a discussion. The reason why you have these discussions, I've been talking for nearly almost 2 hours, but this is where we have a discussion. When we talk, feel free to ask questions, feel free to talk. Once we say it's over, and granted, unfortunately for the people who are online, they don't have the access to me here, but I want to talk to folk, business owners here, so I get a better feel of who you are, know who you are, and get a comfort level to see how we can connect you to different opportunities out here and really get your business to grow, really get your business going and get you focused. And that's where these conversations come in, because a lot of times, like you said, someone's here agreeable to ask us who these procurement directors are. I want to make sure everybody in Charleston County knows who I am. So I get out there and I go to these programs as much as possible. So this is where we talk. As I stated, I've been doing this for a very long time, all my life. So I enjoyed them.
Let me ask a quick question.
Ask away.
The construction side of the procurement, and then there's the service-based side of the procurement. Can you talk about how they're a little bit different and what you may need to participate on either side of the house?
Well, the good thing about Charleston County and some of my counterparts, the construction component is taken out of procurement.
Oh, interesting.
Charleston County doesn't operate there.
Okay.
Procurement there is not decentralized, it's centralized. All procurement flows through contracts and procurement.
Wow.
So my fingers on the keyboard or stroke of a pen touches procurement in every shape, size, and form. So when somebody comes in the office, the first thing I do is I stop and I say, how did we get here? Tell me what I'm looking at. How did we get here? In the process of going out and getting this firm to do work for us, how did we get this firm? Oh, I called somebody who sent you to them. Have we worked with this firm before? No. Is this a small business? This is a local small business. Did you go through our vendor database to pull somebody out? How did we get here? So therefore, there's just not, oh, thank you for bringing this contract. Hey, keep going. No, stop. Bring it down to this level. How do we get this firm to do this work?
Right.
Or I'll say, wait a minute. We've used this firm the last 10 times in this project. Stop. We'll find somebody else. The partners will call me up and they'll say, why are we changing? Why are we not changing? Why? And we'll get people go, well, I like this person. Okay, you like the person. You can always like the person, but give the money to somebody else.
Right.
Give somebody else opportunity. Right. But you're not going to go and keep giving this work to somebody else. And if I go out there and I'll check and say, okay, you like this person. And prime example is at the firm when I first took the position, used to clean our libraries. And the guy was like, oh, I like this person. So we went through the library. I said, okay, did they clean last night? Yeah. I got 2 dead cockroaches in the window. I got dust bunnies going all the way up the step. And if I pull this book off the shelf, there are cobwebs coming at me. On top of the fact that there's a dead spider up there. So they cleaning? What are they cleaning? And if I go in the bathroom, it smells like after a football game.
Yes, sir.
So they are cleaning, but these people are your friends because you like them. At that point, I said, no. We got to do a little bit better here. So we go through a compliance review, and then you part of the compliance review, the firms that have been slacking off, know what they usually do? I don't want this job. I didn't think so.
Right.
Or the one where the guy goes into the library with the vacuum cleaner, and the vacuum cleaner, the bag got a hole in it. So he's pulling the dust up, he's putting it right back out. That's the kind of work you got, that's shoddy work. Who's looking at this?
Right.
Same thing on the construction side. Why is this firm taking so long to do this job when, oh, this is the problem? This ain't my problem, that's their problem. Okay, we're gonna start hitting with some penalties.
Right.
Then they start moving.
Gotcha.
So all that comes through us. We get on it, we take a look at it.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Any other comments?
You guys break out packages to accommodate smaller businesses?
We do that as much as we can. We do it as much as we can.
So I don't need to be ashamed that I can't do a $2 million contract. I need to come to you where, okay. All right.
And I'll echo that too. We want to know that, right?
Right.
As the GC, don't hesitate if, you know, you get an invite for electrical, but you want to just do the low voltage piece, or you're a site work contractor, or you're a trucking contract. You know, we don't always just want to award it to a site work guy to do all the trucking.
Yeah, I missed your presentation. Who are you? And who are you?
Blake with J Young Construction.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so,
Are you prime?
yeah, typically
Okay.
general.
Big
contractor.
crime.
Okay.
So, I mean, we just need to have that conversation up front.
Last but not least, I'm serious, I'm almost done, but you know I love the stuff.
You never be done.
So, how do I not embarrass you on a job? If you're sticking out your neck for me and you're being extremely intentional about giving me an opportunity, what do I need to do to make you look good?
What I want you to do is make yourself look good.
Perform.
Perform. What I want you to do is make yourself look good, and that's perform. We've had some issues where people did do what they're supposed to do. We've had some issues where people really perform very well. But I always say to the person, when I moved back from Columbia to Charleston, it was 92. And what time Al and I started hooking up. And we had a gentleman that bid on a project out of the Francis Marion National Forest. And they wanted somebody to go out there, and the Francis Marion National Forest was big, and he used to do road grading. So he came in, and he and I actually became good friends. Al knows what I'm talking about. And he sat down, and I looked at him, and I said, oh, you got a federal contract to do all the road grading out there in the Francis Marion National Forest. He had one big problem. He didn't have any equipment to do the work. And I said, why were you bidding on this contract? Well, I said, dude, you're not going to get a loan to buy this equipment because I said, you're too green. I said, let me see your financials. I don't have any. I said, man, stop.
Yeah.
This is not going to work.
Right.
He said, what should I do? I said, okay. I said, I know some people in Columbia, Taylor Brothers Construction. I sent them to them, and they called me back. They said, this ain't going to work. This is not going to work. So he said, what should I do? I said, I need you to go call the federal government office and tell them to withdraw your bid. I said, that way you save some face. It won't be difficult for you. But I said, you are unable to perform this job. I said, you will fail day one. Because I said, you can't go out there with anything and do this job. And I said, you've got to be prepared to do something like this. And I've worked with people before who've gotten work. And I said, this is bigger than you. I said, you can't do this. You have to take a look at this. Look at where you are and what you can actually do before you put yourself over and put yourself out of business.
That's what I wanted you to say.
I don't want to don't put yourself out of business. No matter more than you can chew.
Yeah. Go right out more than you can chew.
Yeah. The only problem that I have is you guys primes that have a prior relationship with companies, and they don't perform. And what they do, they have this relationship and the companies don't perform. And they use that as to get rid of that company to this is a DBE company. And a lot of times it happens because they've been using these companies over the year and they perform. So the prime will get rid of them so they can go out and get who they want to get, because they already know when this person gets a job that they're not going to perform. I don't think you have that problem in Charleston County, because that's one of the reasons myself and Willie Frazier and John Tucker, we team now, and we can put out 85 trucks on any big project that the state of Charleston County, any of them offer now. And we work as a team. And our mission is to perform if you ask for 30 trucks, we give you 30 trucks and they all will be on time and they're gonna perform every day.
You got about 20 by yourself.
To keep that from having to only have 10.
So keep working with me.
Keep that from happening, because we have companies out there that have been using for years that they promise to pick them up, they know they're not gonna perform, and they go to Columbia, they can't provide the trucks of production, they get them, and then they bring in all these other companies, and it kicks the minority companies off the job. Yeah, quite a bit.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
I just simple response to that, I mean, that's certainly not what we want to do, right? We want to bring on, we call our folks trade partners, right? A trade partner is someone that progresses with us from one job to the next. The subcontractors we hire from one job and we probably don't call back again, right? We want to build those relationships from one job and take y'all to the next one, right? And continue to develop that. So I mean, I've not heard that on our side.
But you've heard of that.
Yes, we don't want you to fail.
Right,
We want
absolutely.
to build you up and take you with.
We don't allow that. What generally happens is the contractor comes in and gives us their solicitation. And how we operate off that solicitation, I'm not sure, because I know you have to take a phone call and step down.
Right.
But all of our prime contractors, once we have determined that this particular firm is going to be awarded the contract, when they submit their solicitation to us, their solicitation becomes part of the contract. I don't know if you've heard that part. Not only does it become part of it, so therefore, if we have a road construction project and they have you listed to do a certain part of the hauling of the dirt, or whatever they need hauling for, once they submit their bid, their proposal, it's out. And I said, this firm's gonna get it. They have to work with you. They can't push you off to the side and bring somebody else in. Now, where we get into trouble in the county part is I'll put out bids. And what you just said is true. I'll have one of the agencies in the county come to me and say, this firm underperformed the last time we had a project. Legally, what I have to do is look at them and say, when did you tell Charleston County about it? Because if XYZ firm underperformed, I need to know that when the project's going on. Because there are certain remedies that we have for a firm that underperforms, to include a subcontractor. Now, we've gone and we have told the prime contractor, I want this person off our job because something's going on, something that happened with the firm. We want them all off. And we will let them know you're not going to replace them with somebody who is equally as horrible. Here are your options. And I have to give them 3 options. Here are these 3 firms or 4 firms, whatever the case is. So you will stay on the job. And if they get the job, where we've heard small and minority businesses say, once we get the job, we replace, they cannot replace you because their subcontract list, we want to know who's working on our project. Their subcontract list is a part of the contract.
But that's like you said in the beginning. That happens. The reason that happens is because of the bid and the quote process. That happened because the companies that normally fail, they bid and their quote is too low to perform. And that's the reason why they can't perform, because they're trying to get the job. So they've been bidding it, and you say, oh, the low bid is not good.
This is how I rep it. And I started teaching everybody in the Charleston area. And this is what we do, and I tell the buyers, we know what the budget is for a project. And we get these rascals who have this idea in their head, and this is the old way of doing procurement. They did a project, and somebody's told them lowball it, and then get there and do change orders. Well, the first thing I do is, wait a minute, this is a $15 million project, and this person bid 8.9. No way. So I bring them in, and I said, no. And that's where you catch all the foolishness. And I said, you bid $8.9 million in the project. I don't reveal what the price is. I said, can you do it for that price? Yeah, I said, I want you to stand up now. There will be no change orders. I said, the only change order will take place is if you get to the ground and there's something there that my people did not recognize, like some utilities or we find something there that was buried 100 years ago after the Civil War, or something like that, because that happens in Charleston all the time.
All the time.
All the time, you dig up, you dig up the city of Charleston, you can find either something that hadn't exploded yet, or some bones. You gonna, or some train tracks, you gonna find one or all three. And we'll say, guess what? No change orders, and they'll stop and look at you and go, no, I said, this is your price. And look, I said, if you start this job, and you come back with a change order saying you can't, that's, I'm going after your bond. So do this right there, walk with the price.
Yes, I can give you a simple budget. You get a trucking company, you bid a prime, you bid a, now in this market nowadays, if you bid a job for say 1,100-1,200 a day for your truck, you ain't gonna be in the market long because your fuel's gonna be $300. Your driver is gonna be about $300. And how you gonna pay insurance and pay for a truck? That's what is happening. The market is about 1,400 a day. That's minimum market on a truck right now. You got a lot of these guys, I mean, I had a company a couple of weeks ago, trying to get folks together and telling them folks that we can pay you $1,100-$1,200 a day, and plus we gonna sub you and take 12% from you for that. And I'm saying, who is gonna listen to that? How can you run a truck? Are you a business person? Do you know what it costs to run a truck?
Right.
You must not know what it costs to run a truck today. But they'll tell people to come to the table, and you have some people that jump on that because they don't understand the market.
How do we know the budget? Do we ask?
You can ask,
Tell us?
and they may or may not reveal it. I cannot reveal it as a procurement director, but the department itself might be able to reveal it.
Let's say if they don't reveal it, we just come up with our own price.
Yes.
That we can.
There'll be certain parameters in that bid. They say, let's go for work, they'll tell you what you want, and you fix, this is what it's gonna cost me. Now, what you can do, especially since you're janitorial, anytime before you submit a bid, if there's a building, say, look, I need to go the building, see what I'm doing. That will help you out. You wanna make sure you go look at that building first. They can send you some specs, but they ain't gonna do you any good. When you're doing janitorial work, you wanna go see exactly what you're cleaning, especially if you're going someplace where there's like people doing some hospital work, or you go into the detention center. When you go to the detention center,
I did.
you put in your mind that every piece of filth that exists in the world occurs in the detention center at any one point in time. At any one point in time. And you're gonna see anything at any one point in time in the detention center. Just simply because you got people who are locked up, who don't care, who got all kinds of things going on with them, and they don't care about to just do whatever they want to do. It happens.
I got a good question for you.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there any help for companies to get monies for insurance? Because that's the thing that is really killing us now, is insurance. I'm talking about on a 10 truck, you're gonna pay over $200,000 a year for insurance right now. Insurance is costing me over $20,000 a month. Those are the numbers I'm telling you. That's why I say the market has got to be at 40. When you're not in there, still know what you're doing, you'll be out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm paying about over $20,000 a month for insurance for this 10 trucks.
On the surface, my answer to that question is no. There's a person that I go to, a friend of mine in Charleston, I will ask him on your behalf, but on the surface, the answer to that question.
So is there any way you can actually get your state to kind of lobby together through either your chambers or some of your representatives?
Well, I've gone up to, I've had spoke when the Black Caucus had a meeting a few months ago up in Columbia, and I asked, they was up there, and we was asking for, I went up and asked for some kind of help, helping us to get the market down on the insurance, let's say, because it's really eating up everything that we make.
Right. Okay.
Ms. Green, Mr. Tolbert, if you don't mind, I would like for Ms. Green to talk about her office at Richland County OSBO if she wants to.
I know, right? Thank you. I appreciate that, John. Yeah, so, the purpose of our office is to basically advocate for contracting with the county. However, that is not all that we do, because we work with all other agencies, city, state, federal as well, because we're a holistic approach to helping define opportunities. We have a race and gender neutral program. As it stands right now, we're coming down towards the end of a disparity study. So we'll be getting those recommendations, I think the end of June. Even though we already know how they're gonna come out, but yeah, we'll be getting those the end of June. But a lot of what we're doing now, and I'll be honest, I just kind of changed positions within the office, and I'm glad to hear everything that Barrett has said today. He's gonna be hearing from me.
Not a problem.
Okay, and I can say that I feel like there's work to be done in Richland County as it relates to procurement. And I'll put a period right there, and I know where I can go with this, but there is work to be done. But we do provide the certifications in 5 different areas: construction, architecture, engineering, professional services, anything that you have to hold high credentials for, and then non-professional, pretty much catches everything else. And then we do a number of different workshops. Barrett talked about making sure, especially my background is banking, so the financial piece is very important because I've done underwriting, commercial underwriting. I've seen a lot of this stuff. I've seen where the pitfalls are. So we do a lot around that. We have yours truly, John, coming next week. Hopefully he has not forgotten, to talk about cash flow and all of that. But I'll have my cards available for anyone that may want them. Thank you.
I got one thing. When we talk about performing our services, as a fuel supplier, I don't have my own trucks. I contract that out to vendor carriers. How does the county, how do they see it? Because DOT.
As long as you get it to me, I don't care.
Okay. DOT has
put it on your back and run down the road, I don't care.
I summed it up.
So the companies don't necessarily have to have the employees performing those services. They can just be project management services.
I don't have a problem with it at all. Listen.
Aside from vendor registration, what is required, or what are the required documents to do business with the Charleston County?
We ask that you don't owe us any money. You're not on some list with the federal government, but it's a legitimate business. That's all we're required.
I mean, you don't require any additional certifications other than just have a vendor registration.
What we do is when you certify with us, thank you, nice meeting you. What we take a look at is first thing we say, do you owe any taxes, anything like that? Answer the question is no. You got your license, you're legitimate, we're good to go.
Registered with the county.
So I need the vendor registration. Do I need the SBE as well?
You get your SBE, for instance, yes.
We are SBE, but Charleston need as well.
Yes.
Is that an immediate process, or is there a certain amount of lead time on the approval of that?
Usually, if you give to Holly all of your information as far as what is required in that SBE certification, you'll be certified in about 24 or 36 hours. That's very quick. That's very quick. We try to get you certified as quickly as possible. It's a 1-page application. We don't have like this 50-page application. It's a 1-page application. You recertify yourself every year. We make it as simple as possible.
Mr. Tolbert, I got a question in the chat. Is there a report that shows the SC County's annual government spending? And if so, can it be accessed by the public?
I think there is. I don't upload the information there, but let me see if I can find it for you, and I'll send it to you, Emily and John, so that you can disseminate it to everybody.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, one thing you can do with Charleston County, it's on our webpage for our own county itself. You just have to go to the budget office and go through their layers of links on there, and you will find it I won't say real quick, but it's there. Because we put it there every year on Charleston County on our webpage. www.charlestoncounty.org, and go to the budget webpage link and start going through for each budget year, and you can find it.
Mr. Tolbert.
Yes, ma'am.
The small business support, another support that's for-profit organizations, is the MWDBE, is that for support for nonprofits as well, or is it for profit business only?
Here's how that goes. We do work with nonprofits. We have a housing and revitalization program and a community development program, I should say CD. Our CD program works with a variety of nonprofits.
So that,
To give-
that's where I would contact the community.
Community development program.
And is that something that?
They call it housing and revitalization, but CD is under that. If you go to our webpage. Yes, and your follow-up question.
Is that available in all counties? Is that, would it be called the same thing, or
Different things in different counties.
can if I contacted the procurement office, of a particular county, they would be able to direct me to who I needed to speak to?
Hopefully.
They should be.
They should be able to, hopefully, because sometimes you call offices and I'm just being honest, some people, but that's not us. Well, who should I talk to? And sometimes they'll go, I don't know. But if you call our office, we will direct you to where you need to go. We don't say, oh, well, that's not us. I made it clear. My staff knows 100% customer service. If somebody calls and they're looking for help, once they figure out what help you need, they're gonna say, oh, and they might say, I don't know. They may tell you, I don't know. And they'll ask another person in the office, they'll ask me, they say, look, I got somebody on the phone. And then this is the help. I say, okay, have them call this person in this office and this person can help them through this process. In other words, and I'm not putting myself on the pedestal at all, but I know myself and I know Robin, because we've known each other in so many circles over the years. We're gonna direct you where you need to go. So you, I'm not gonna, I don't know where you need to call. Listen, please, you didn't call it to hear, no, you called it to hear some directions and where you might be able to get some assistance, and that's what I did.
Goes back to the person, the individual that you're talking to. Some people want to do their jobs, some people don't want to do their jobs.
So the procurement director of the county is where I'm gonna start.
Start there. Thank you. And sometimes I always tell people to go to their webpage and something may be right there on their webpage. And you say, oh, this is who I need to call. And if it's not clarity, and because look, I'm trying to get this particular help. Is this the right place I'm calling, or could you direct me to where I need to call? And then that way they should say, okay, can I call you back? I need to find out for myself. And then you get the help you need. And you give them like 24 hours. Call back. So did you find out? Because this should take. But with me, I'll put you on hold and say, hold on. Call here, talk to this person.
And when you mentioned something about contacting the sheriff department. I didn't quite understand what you were talking about.
Because what you do is you work with teenagers, correct?
I do, as a whole is.
The sheriff department runs our juvenile detention center. Okay. So they bring people in periodically to counsel and work with the young people who are
their spirit, so they don't be forgetting where it is.
And they now have a very active program there in that juvenile detention center to help those young kids out there. Yeah, because some of them are there, they don't stay overnight, they're just there for the daytime. Because they might have did something bad in school, so they take them out of school there. So.
They go to the detention center?
Yes.
That's what they take?
Yes. I do some volunteer work with the new mayor, Mayor Burgess, but there's a community group that is working, volunteering with mentoring under the gun violence in the Tri-County area. And that's what happened. I mean, some of the things, I'm in my 60s. 68 to be sure. Things I did in high school, we got or paddling or sent home.
Yeah.
They're being arrested today.
Right out of schools, they take them right down.
You heard of school to prison system.
Why would they promote that?
This is where we are with our enforcement now. Yes, a lot of things.
So students.
Yeah, and they're just not throwing away the keys, but that's what a lot of people are still thinking about.
The self-fulfilling prophecy, we're saying this is where you're gonna end up, this jail, is that what they're doing?
Yes.
Oh.
Almost like promoting it. But again, we're trying to break that cycle.
Well, thank you.
And so with people like you, that's why we need you. That's why we need you.
And then you also have the oldest, which is our drug and alcohol treatment center. And it's really for adults. Now, the funny thing about the Charleston County's drug and alcohol treatment center, they get calls as far away as Greenville, South Carolina, with people who want to come to that treatment center to get help. And I asked them, I said, listen, we don't really turn people down if we cannot. We get calls from people from Columbia, and sometimes a person in Richland County may not want people to know that they got a problem with alcohol or drugs or some other issue. So they also, can I go to Charleston County and check in? You become a resident there and they'll let you stay there, they'll get you back. But we also have women who come there with their children because they have nowhere to go and they're on drugs. So the woman and the child stays there. There's counseling that then. So I will give you Dr. Fonsel's information as well too. So what you do is you send me an email, and when I get back to my office, I'm going to email to you the people there, and then I'm going to call those people and say, look out for a phone call.
And I'm so green, sir, so please mind that I thought I was gonna be a teacher my whole life, and so I have really know I'm learning every day.
Okay.
But it's so please.
Yeah, so I'm going to connect the dots with you with some people so you can talk to them, so they can possibly offer you some work to come help them, because they need work all the time. When you start looking at a drug and alcohol treatment center, I don't go in it anymore because it bothers me to see what I see in there.
I help lift people up, so.
But you know, you've got, and the thing about it, a lot of times we think of the drug and people who are on drugs and alcohol one way. You go in there, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. And that center we have done that, we've had TV anchors, we had to check into it. Accountants, lawyers, and even doctors.
Well, pain doesn't discriminate against anything, nothing.
And you
And
have
we're
women
humans, and all humans have some kind of pain that they have to.
And then you have women with children who live there. We have a playground there for the kids. It's sad, but you see, I mean, who is connected to drugs, but you have all these agencies out here that can do, and the different agencies under the different, like I said, Greenville, Charleston, Richland County, the three largest counties in the state.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Safe travels home.
How frequently do the county release their opportunities and what methods of releasing that information?
They do it once a year when they have their budget review, and once a year. They put up everything they're gonna spend for the next year.
I have a question from the chat.
Yes.
How do we access the application to register as a minority-owned business?
With Charleston County, send Holly Chester the email, and she'll send you all the applications you need for Charleston County. For the for SCDOT, you need to go to the state's website. And I'm going to say the same thing for Richland County. Go to your website.
Yeah, our website, yes.
Go to Richland County's website.
And these are for people who are already certified?
Or want to get certified.
Want to get
Nope.
certified.
You can help with that too.
And so we have Sherry Pittinger with the South Carolina Small Business Development Centers that helps people get their certifications. She knows that stuff inside and out, so we can get them connected with Sherry. But I'll tell you, you gotta have your stuff in order, because Sherry's 25 years military, and she runs a tight ship, and she's not gonna do it for you, but she's gonna make sure you get it done.
And reach out to Holly Chester in our office. She and another person in there, Marcella, will get them all the information they need to get certified with Charleston County government.
Okay, next question. Can you register SBE if you are not in Charleston County?
No, you can register as an SBE even if you're living in Moose Jaw, Alaska. Just this.
Sounds like place he was stationed. He must have been stationed. Yeah, he was there. That's what I'm telling you.
I think you just have to be a citizen or a green card or authorized to work.
Authorized, yeah, have authorized business. We have businesses certified with us as far away as California and Washington State.
Well, Mr. Tolbert, I definitely want you to come back down and do this trade again sometime, and I guarantee you, there'll be a lot more people in the room after the performance you just put on.
Okay. Well, Emily, to all the folks online, tell them to send the emails. Tell them we thank them for participating. At the next rodeo, we'll hopefully see them in the room. It's easier when you get in the room because you can kind of reach out and touch people, look, kind of get some things going real quickly. Note, as I told John, I will be down from May 6th to July 29th. Gonna have some surgery done, but I will be back end of July, 1st of August, checking again. So I think Johnson, you will do this again in September?
Yes, sir. Prayers for your speedy recovery, so
Yes,
get you
sir.
back here in
Absolutely.
September. A little bit self-interest, but I do care about you.
What's that?
To do the surgery?
No, no bids, already got one doctor.
That's wrong.
Sole source. Sole source. Somebody asked me that yesterday, sole source.
John, you wanna put a bid in on it?
Man, listen to me, 750 on the peacock.
Oh, no, you'll take.
You don't know those little things.
Oh, man. Okay, well, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to come speak to you. Okay, I'm back. Thank you all, my back, I'm sorry. Thank you all for being here with us today. Like we said, we'll probably do this again in September. We'll take it to the next level. We'll have a little bit more in-depth discussion about some of the other things going on, just so you take a look at your business and figure out some ways to keep your business going. Have some other training tools that will help your business grow as well. Thank you much.
Thank
Turn
you
it back
so
over.
much. And don't forget to sign in if you are in person, and please fill out our form so that we can provide more trainings like this one.
Okay.